it's me, Mary. Long time, no video. If you hear background noise, that's going to be a few things. One, if you hear birds, like tropical birds, I have a white noise machine on. That's because, I originally thrifted it, hoping it would drown out my upstairs neighbor's kiddos. I mean, it doesn't really do the trick effectively. This is one of the noise settings on it, but, I've been going through it. This is just going to be an unscripted ramble and chit chat about what I've been going through. Note that I'm not trying to paint myself as like some sort of ultimate victim or some shit. I'm just going through things. We're all going through things, and maybe, just having this sit down video while I pack some stuff here. Just me rambling about my life and what's been going on while I've not been uploading. Maybe returning viewers or new viewers could get something out of it, even if it's just, some background noise or entertainment, even if it's a 30-second click on and click away, hey, thank you. Even if you're going to be rude and leave some sort of nasty comment trying to get a reaction out of me, I mean, you obviously felt something. I mean, I don't know what to say, like, okay, it's like, good for you, I guess. Yeah, I've been going through some stuff, and if I seem preoccupied, I'm packing. And I was going to talk about other background noise. Yeah, I'm very rambly. This is not scripted. This is just stream of consciousness from my sleep deprived, burnt out ADHD self, who's going through a lot right now. I mean, I know we're all going through a lot, but yeah, I'm going through it. May not necessarily get too far into detail. We'll see what happens in this video. I mean, you'll find out eventually if I stick to my word there, or my impressions right now. I've had to re-record this a few times because I'm like, I don't know, like I'm starting to not make sense to myself, but whatever. If you're cool with like unscripted rambling while I pack some oregano tubes, wink wink nudge nudge, oregano tubes, those herbal tubes. I hope you don't mind. I'm just trying to keep myself preoccupied. If you hear other background noise, yeah, that would partially be that. I also live right next to a train track, so I don't know what to say. Good luck sound brief with that, these cheap ass apartments. Well, I'm not monetized anyways, I don't care. Fuck off, moderation. I'm an adult, and my content is directed at other adults primarily. Okay, thanks. Anyways, yeah, I've been going through it. Recently I was a bridesmaid. This past November, I was a bridesmaid at my oldest sister's wedding, which is nice. It was a really wonderful experience, and I'm really happy for her and her husband, aka my brother-in-law. Really happy for them. It's been a long time coming, and glad I was able to be a part of it. I had this pretty like cinnamon like colored dress that's kind of like velvet and burnout. So pretty. I may or may not insert a clip of that or a picture of that if I feel like it. Can't guarantee. Depends on what I'm feeling. So don't scream at me if I don't, or do. I mean, you're the one behind the keyboard, right? So I guess you can do what you want, but like, whatever, dude. You gonna make choices? You're gonna make choices. Anyways, so I've been going through it though. That's not necessarily an example of me going through it. That's just more of a positive thing I went through. But I've been really sleep deprived because of my upstairs neighbors, and that's the other noise factor. They have like two really hyperactive, like small children. So, I'm not gonna micromanage them. It's a situation. I'm not gonna get too far into it or necessarily spill all their personal deeds or air out their dirty laundry too hard. I mean, I do feel like I want to give them a sense of privacy, especially because they're low income family with small children. Like, I'm not gonna foolishly like endanger anyone. No, I'm not gonna air out their dirty laundry. Like, come on, like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a fucking adult. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, but I'm chronically overstimulated by a lot of the noise, which, hey, I'm glad the kids are playing and not on an iPad all day. That is good for their development, but also for my autistic ADHD ass with like practically dog-like hearing in the human body, like auditory hypersensitivity. That's what I personally experience. It's not exactly the most pleasant thing on my end, though I'm always still polite to them and friendly with them and kind to the kids when I see them. But yeah, it's a lot for me to deal with. Being chronically overstimulated. And you know, during the day I don't say anything because it's just like they're gonna play. The only time I really would have said something at all, and it was only because you know one of the parents, one of my upstairs neighbors, you know, the parents of the kids, they did contact me saying like, hey, yeah, we're wherever they're ever up past their bedtime, you really need sleep, and you know, we understand you needing sleep, like just let us know. But like even then, I try to not do it more often than I do it because it's just like I really don't want to micromanage them. It's only when it's really bad. But that said, you know, sleep deprivation's not fun. It's really not. I've been dealing with the level of that because you know young kiddos resist bedtime. That's not an uncommon thing. It's not an unheard of thing. And these kiddos really like to resist really late, and by that I mean like past 10 o'clock, way past 10 o'clock, and then wake up really early. Like one of the earlier times it's happened is like 4:45 in the morning. Yeah, imagine being woken up, but what sounds like a stampede of screaming elephants that can be heard through earplugs, a fan going full blast, and a white noise machine on full volume. Still being able to hear your ceiling thumping, like someone's practically trying to like bang through the ceiling. Like it is loud. I mean, like during the day, sometimes I think someone's trying to break in my front door, like beat it in, because of like the cadence of the footsteps and stomping and running. When it's really just the kids upstairs. Like it's like I don't know. I think it's stimming, but you know, I'm not gonna say too much. I know the kids are neurodivergent to some degree. I'm not gonna, you know, air out everything, but you know, I get it. I'm also neurodivergent. I know what stimming is. Again, I try to give them grace, but you know, it's loud. Like it's loud enough to where I think it's actually at my front door. And it's not just me. Like even like my parents who I live with have also experienced that, where they think someone's like practically trying to break in the front door, like pound it down. It's just them jumping up there. Yeah, like it's at the cadence and the strength to which you're like practically expecting to hear FBI open up. Like it sounds like someone's trying to beat in your door, but it's just the people upstairs. Like it's a lot to deal with. Just put it that way. I've had my own conversations with these people, but yeah, it's been causing me really chronic sleep deprivation, which is not fun for someone like me who is, you know, autistic, ADHD. I also have other disabilities, POTS, which is comorbid with autism, and unfortunately does worsen with sleep deprivation. Also, like I have been dealing with some really severe autistic burnout. Um, Specifically with relation to the chronic sensory overload caused by upstairs and being here, and it's been a lot. It's been causing a lot of health challenges and basically made me to the point it got bad enough to the point where last week I it was my last day at my former job because my health has gotten to the point where I can't really cognitively or physically, like between the burnout and the sleep deprivation, I can't. I just can't, especially in the workplace that I was dealing with, like some ableist microaggressions. It's a situation, I'm not going to get too far into it, but that and, you know, the classic weaponized incompetence of retail workplaces. I mean, that and just having to mask my autism and constantly worsen the burnout, and then not even having a quiet place to rest my head and get sleep, and have it be a vicious cycle that gets worse and worse and worse, and then having my own lived experiences with my disabilities dismissed as if somehow, you know, management co-inhabited my body and somehow knows my lived experience when they most certainly do not. It's just too much. I've got enough on my plate, and frankly, if it's between not being employed there or not being employed temporarily and, you know, getting at least a mental relief in that aspect, or me having to go back to, you know, psych ward. I did go to, like, I think it's inpatient or psych ward. I don't know if that's the same thing, but I did have to go somewhere in May of this year, 2025, where I was unfortunately subjected to medical malpractice. That was bad enough to where my actual psych services providers that I've been seeing since I was 6 filed recipients' right complaints on my behalf because these places are not equipped or educated enough to, you know, be helping autistic people. They don't know, and I was subject to really bad medical malpractice, and it wasn't good. And yes, it was because of the people upstairs. It was in May. It was a whole shit show. Basically, yeah, that's what happened. Also, yes, I'm still packing my oregano tubes. I'm just packing a few in advance. Some palm leaves. I think you can kind of get an idea for what I'm doing here. Yeah, this is just a ramble. I've been going through it. Yeah, it's a bit of a vent about my situation. There's also just some situations with certain family members I live with that is pretty unhealthy. I'm not going to get into the context. It's very personal to me, but it's not exactly the most emotionally or psychologically healthy situation for me or really any of my siblings when they were my age, but still not my age, but when they still lived with them, I should say. They did leave the house near my parents a lot sooner than than me. I am not yet out of my parents. What else to talk about? I have been considering, though, options for my life trajectory, because obviously I don't want to be under my parents' roof. I want to be financially independent. I don't want to be stuck in this situation. Hell no. And I guess I am an adult. yes, I am. There's a lot of circumstances that make things difficult for me. I'll put it that way. However, I am looking into going to college. Gonna try to get into one of those 4-year universities near me. There's a couple that I might apply to. That's in a specific county in my state where I tend to get my gynecological care anyways. I do have to get my gynecological care at a specific university hospital, like gynecology program, because let's just say a very unique situation. Like 0.3% of the world's population deals with what I deal with. Most doctors not equipped to handle somebody who has 2 uteruses. They just aren't. Most people that they see do not have 2 uteruses. I do. Therein, I'm kind of limited, and frankly, like, in terms of public transportation, the place I'm looking to get into, I'm trying to get into, one of the 2 places, there's 2 campuses, different universities. Let's see if any of you can kind of figure out what I'm saying. Who knows? I don't care. But basically, I'm trying to get into college. I'm looking to pursue an anthropology degree, or career, I should say, not just a degree, not just a major. I know for the career you have to get more than just a major, but although it takes a lot of dedication, even when I'm burnt the hell out, one of the very few things I find I'm able to do is to, freaking hyper focus on special interests sometimes, if I have the cognitive capacity, that is. Sometimes I don't, but you know what? I love to learn. I really do. Constantly, I really do love to research like aspects of human history and cultural shifts and things related to anthropology in general. And you know what? I'm willing to make efforts to be educated on that in college. And even if my major ends up shifting, or the minor I also have to get with that major, because the colleges I'm looking to apply to, you have to get a different degree alongside the anthropology major, like a minor that is separate. I think it's because careers are pretty difficult to get with simply just an anthropology major, simply because a lot of the field tends to require like having a master's or possibly even doctorate if you want to get anywhere. From what I've heard, I'm not sure if that's true in 2025, but that's what I've heard from a lot of people. So you know what? I'm just hoping to get into anthropology. But what was I saying about my gynecology? Oh yeah, it's where it's located at this university hospital. Like, it's on a campus, but there's a different college whose campus is in the same county, and there's public transportation. That's what I was gonna get at. There's public transportation between the 2, colleges, and for me, as somebody who's low income, I mean, it's a lot easier to afford a bus pass or something like public transport than it is, getting an Uber. Especially in these like college towns. I mean, shit's expensive, dude. I'm not made of money. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly not. But you know what? I'm gonna apply for financial aid, that FAFSA. I have to figure out what it's like for non-traditional students. If any of you guys have insight for like people, well, I'm 22 right now. I mean, I guess by fall 2026, before then even I'd be 23. But let's just say I've been going through some shit, and me getting into college period has been delayed. But you know what? honestly, I think it would be a good option for me in general because it would get me out from under my parents' roof and it would get me a bit more independent and hopefully be able to allow me to figure out my space in the world and get me, into contact with people who are closer to my age in general. Perhaps I would find more opportunities for friends and a social network and community and to perhaps make a more positive impact is what I'm hoping. And I think college would be a perfect opportunity for me, really. And I do love to learn. I really do. Like, during my downtime, if you were looking over my shoulder, there's a good chance you might see me, browsing some PubMed articles, like research articles, or like archaeological journals, things of that nature. Just doing research, basically. You'll find me doing research for fun. I'm a giant nerd, okay? I'm a giant nerd. But seriously, yeah, I want to pursue anthropology. I'd love to do that and just be able to maybe provide more context and help us remember where we came from. Help put into perspective the complex and just complex cities in general of human history and how things may not necessarily be the way in which we necessarily thought they were because of like cultural biases. Like, what were those cultures like? I'm trying to figure out the connections from the past to the present because nothing we have today in the world necessarily spawned out of nothing in the sense that they're not isolated incidents in terms of like developments culturally or things that are happening sociopolitically. I mean, none of this is isolated. Everything that humanity is currently going through, I mean, there's the whole chain of cause and effect situations and reactions that led to the moment where we are today. Let's just put it that way. And, helping to put some of that into perspective and perhaps shed some perspective, I don't know, and figure some of this stuff out. Help us remember who we are and where we came from as humans might be a nice thing. I don't know, I'd like that. I'd love to learn about the parts of human history that I don't typically get to hear about or know about. I'd love to perhaps rediscover some things. Or a lost connection or something. That'd be wonderful. Or just, I don't know. I just like the idea. Sounds fun. Sounds fascinating. I like that. Basically, I just want us to remember where we came from and to honor and learn the lessons from the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, honor the lessons that we've learned from the past. That's what I meant. And hopefully do better. And also just go, hey, those people are actually not that different. In a sense, they're still people, still human. I don't know. Just some musings there. I'm kind of rambling, as you can tell. Not even kind of, I am. What else besides anthropology? I mean, I have been having some spiritual stuff happen to me lately. I've no doubt been very much deep diving back into my magic and my spirituality. So there's a plus. Not sure if I'm going to post about it. Right now, I think a lot of what I'm dealing with is fairly private. But, I've been really reconnecting. I'll put it that way. And I'm happy in that sense. I've also had some ancestral connections become more obvious. Let's just put it that way. Some ancestral visitations, if you will. Very interesting. So, I guess I don't know if I've told the story on here before on this channel. So, you know what? If you're a newcomer, you might be hearing this for the first time. If you're a recurring viewer, hey, welcome back. And I appreciate your patience and your continued support. I don't know if I told the story. You might be rehearing it. And if not, maybe you're hearing it for the first time. So, a while ago, I forget the year. It's a bit ago. Last year, maybe the year before, maybe 2023? Might have been 2023, I don't know. Not certain. Either 2023 or 2024, I was doing some ancestral research. I wanted to know a bit more about something my grandma was talking about with regards to, that side of the family being descended from, in terms of the first person to come to the Americas from that side of the family was a Scottish indentured servant from the Battle of Dunbar of 1650. I mean, she took us to, like, a place that's, like, an unincorporated community in another state. It's, like, I don't even think there's a functioning post office for this place anymore. Kind of unincorporated community. Um, but there's a lot of family members who are buried there, and I mean, obviously, this well after this ancestor, Scottish indentured servant came here. But I was looking into this Alexander guy, this Alexander Innes. I was looking into him, and on these like free genealogy websites, and I was kind of cross-referencing the different articles for him and his children just to see if maybe they mentioned something that my grandma was talking about. Maybe I can find something in terms of the cited resources. And I noticed something that was on one of the bios, one of the profile, not bios, but I don't know how else to say it, but like one of the pages made for people's ancestors. Regards to Alexander, I found for one of his one of his kids' bios, a reference to something that my great-great-grandfather wrote. My great-great-grandfather apparently wrote quite a lot of things. He wrote a lot of different things, including about genealogical research with regards to that side of the family. And somebody digitized the book or article he wrote. Yeah, someone put it online, basically. And I read that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I kind of looked at the article. I'm like, okay, yeah, so I actually am related to this guy, this Alexander Innes. And I'm like, well, there's nothing saying, like, I can't see who I'm related to via Alexander maternally, or matrilineally, I should say, because, I'm related to Alexander Innes via my matrilineal side, like my maternal side. So I'm figuring, hey, I want to see who he's related to on his mother's side. And turns out distantly, he is descended, potentially, if these genealogy websites are at all accurate. But from what I could tell, very, very, very distantly, if this is the correct Alexandrus, that's kind of also dubious. I haven't exactly taken a DNA test to confirm or deny that there is a lot suggesting is likely truth. Turns out, I'm a distant descendant of, Robert the Bruce. Very distant descendant. No, I don't have any claim to, titles or land. I'm not in line for the throne. But, yeah. I was like, interesting. Okay, but, after that happened, basically finding my great-great-grandfather's work, discovering some of my, ancestral ties, doing my own little genealogical research inspired by his work, I was at the thrift store. There's a nearby thrift store here. And I was in the book section. And in that book section, do you know what I found? This is going to sound strange, but I found an encyclopedia of Freemasonry. It's by Arthur Edward Waite, Rider-Waite-Smith tarot system, you know what I'm talking about? Like a Rider-Waite. Yeah, I'm talking this thing is what I found at the thrift store. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Cool. I didn't think much of it, but I'm like, hey, I found it there at the thrift store for $3. I know, from what I understand, yes, Freemasonry is a fraternal order. I don't know. I've heard they might have developed something for women, but I don't know. I'm not a Freemason, but, whatever. But, this is gonna sound very unrelated to the rambly story I was telling you, but, how do I put this? So, I found that book, and I was like, I didn't think much of it, but I did buy it. But then past July, 2025, my brother, was sitting on the couch with me at my oldest sister's place. And he was like, hey, Mary, by the way, did I ever tell you about what time that, at your late great uncle's place, I was looking in his basement, or not mine, both of our great late uncles in our great late uncle's place, which was refurbished by my grandparents. I found this wagon chest that belonged to our great great grandpa, and I found a bunch of stuff, including a scroll that and other documentation and material that and sort of, I don't know about rope, but something that people can wear. I'm not a Freemason again. I don't know the technical terms. Basically, my great-great-grandpa was a Freemason, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I did go to the, to investigate when I then went to my late great-uncle's, a couple days later. And I looked in that wagon, in the basement for that wagon chest, and sure enough, I found a scroll that said that my great great grandpa was a master Freemason, which is a master rank Freemason of a not a defunct lodge, but still very small area. But that's interesting because I found that Freemasonry encyclopedia like very soon after I had discovered like the republication of my great great grandpa's work, genealogically speaking, online when I was looking into my own genealogical research, just to like kind of like interesting in figuring out like what my grandma was talking about with regards to where our family came from, like how they got here from how they got here to the Americas, basically. I was like, interesting. So I did that, and then I found his work, and then I found a Freemasonry encyclopedia, which is very interesting to me because I'm like, that's a sign. I definitely felt that that was a sign. That was him saying, hello. Yeah. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess. Some of my inclinations, I'm into some pretty similar things. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, we have some similar interests. It's pretty neat. And, I've been getting some nice synchronicity or like some sort of ancestral visitation of sorts. Also, I've been having a lot of like, increased connection to my deities and to my spirit guides, and it's been challenging but nice at the same time, in the sense that although I've been going through it in life, you know, although it is very tempting to give up oftentimes, I'm not gonna lie, they help me remember that things aren't as hopeless as they often seem, and I've been encouraged to really, speak my truth more in my life, enforce boundaries, and to care for myself, and to recognize my worth more. Because, admittedly, yes, I do sometimes, struggle with that. I'm human. I'm not going to deny that, I have my ups and downs. I'm not going to deny the truth. Yes, I do. I was in a psych ward earlier this year. I think that should be indicative enough. But, they've been helping me be more self-empowered, and to be more confident in my strength, and to not necessarily feel like I have to have all the answers. It's okay to not know. It's okay to still be learning. But to be strong enough to admit the truth and to admit when I don't know something or there's more for me to learn. That's something I've been learning. I've also been learning a lot about who I am as a person, including, some of the aspects of myself that I may not be too happy with. I mean, hey, there's always going to be something to work on, but I've been learning to forgive myself and to love myself, but also to hold myself accountable. Because part of, for me, forgiving and loving myself is, well, yes, allow myself the chance to do better, to make better, wiser choices. Hopefully not regress. I mean, I'll have my moments. I've had my moments, certainly. Probably will in the future, but like everyone does. However, what I mean to say is, my spiritual practice has been helping me find strength and courage even in moments that are normally rather hopeless. Helping me to be more empowered and to not let my inner flame go out. And it's truly beautiful, Learning to love myself more, stand up for boundaries, not take disrespect, not be a doormat. Because, well, yes, people will get pushback when you do assert your boundaries. It's unfortunately how a lot of people are. At the same time, it is still worth it to assert one's boundaries, especially when it's for their own well-being. Like, yeah, absolutely. Again, I've been learning how to recognize my own needs and to stand up for myself. Just, honestly, in more healthy ways, I should say. And including when, I am shown through my actions where I've been making some unhealthy decisions and figuring out ways to reorient myself and make better decisions next time. By also, looking in the mirror and reflecting and not ignoring the ugly truths that pop up. Because you know what? Ugly truths are true. They are still true, even when I wish they weren't. And, I'm not exactly perfect Far from it. I'm a complex, morally ambiguous human who isn't. We all are, like, we're a bit morally ambiguous and complex in our own ways. Humans are complex, what can I say? We are often walking contradictions, all of us, in our own way. I think that's just part of existing, honestly. And you know what? The degrees to which I'll grow, and I'm not entirely sure where I'm going, but I have a feeling that I'll get somewhere better eventually. I've been doing a lot more divination, too. Just trying to get perspective. Reconnect with my intuition. And pull myself back together in the ways that I'm able to, while also giving myself grace and figuring out how to listen to my body and the ways in which I can perceive my needs more, because, interoception abilities for me are rather difficult, especially as an autistic and ADHD person. It's pretty par for the course for these disabilities, unfortunately. I don't know what to say. Argue with my genetics, argue with my brain formation, argue with my lived experience. I don't know. That's what it is for me, and it's just been a lot. I've also been really looking into astrology, using that as a tool of self-discovery and reflection. And honestly, I've been really enjoying it. A free app that I've been liking lately is that Astromatrix app. I really like that one. Do you guys use like a astrology app? I don't know. I'm just yapping and packing a oregano tube. Oh shoot, YouTube might take that down. Oh no, it's an oregano tube made of palm for herbs, smoked spices. Food, rub, totally. Might be grilling later. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But basically, I don't know. Maybe not all I'm gonna say. It's definitely not all I'm going to say. I'm going to be yapping for a few minutes. Let's be honest here. That was a lie on my part. My bad. But basically, I've been going through a bit. Very sleep deprived. I didn't really sleep this past night or the past few nights. I need sleep. But unfortunately, not really able to, between autistic burnout and chronic overstimulation from upstairs, and them being quite literally so loud that I can hear them through earplugs, a white noise machine, and a fan going at full blast. I don't know what to say. Send help. Anyways, maybe don't. I'm already talking to a therapist. Don't worry. I'm seeing her tomorrow. But as of filming this, I should say, I'm not sure what the hell I'm uploading this. Anyways, yeah, this is ramble. This is that's basically that's what this video is. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but you know what? I have a lot to fucking talk about. I don't know. But all I know, what was I gonna say? I've been going through it, but I've been having some interesting experiences and revelations about myself, and just re-exploring my magic. It's been nice. I feel like it's been helping me keep it together and find strength even in moments that are difficult, and helping me realize that there are more options at my disposal, and more choices I can take, but I might need to take a step back and shift my perspective, and in many ways, yes, initiate some of that change myself. Because after all, in my life, I sure fucking hope that I'm the one making the decisions for myself most of the time. After all, it is my life. It is my lived experience. I can't just be expecting everyone else to do it for me. I've got to be the one to have those lived experiences and make my decisions and learn my lessons. But you know what? If I can learn some lessons and receive guidance through some of that, through a lot of that, that's nice, and I have been. For those who don't know, I do venerate and honor Astarte, Phoenician Canaanite goddess of love, lust, sensuality, for hunting, fertility. I've been working with her and venerating her and honoring her for some time. Yeah, I have been, and she's been really helping me learn to love myself, but also how to stand up for myself and fight for those who I love, and assert my boundaries. I feel like she's been really helping me find who I am and find my confidence, and I really appreciate that. She's been helping me make more courageous decisions, and I really appreciate that. Ones that are loving towards myself, that are more respectful towards myself. You know what I'm saying? And, maybe not everyone's going to be happy with what I see as more respectful towards myself, but you know what? Sometimes you do have to do things that might make others a little temporarily uncomfortable for survival. That's an aspect of life. Not everything's sunshine and rainbows. I hate to say it, but learning to make confident and more assured decisions even amidst the chaos, and make decisions that are loving towards myself and to those I love, and how to be more passionate and creative and all of that. I don't know how else to articulate it. Just be more passionate and creative and affirming of my boundaries. It's been really helpful, and I like that. I really do. What else to talk about? What else to ramble about while I pack these oregano tubes? These palm leaf oregano tubes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know. It's going on nearly 40 minutes. I'd be surprised if anyone's watching this far. I mean, is there a palm tree emoji you could leave if you've been watching this far? I'd be dead surprised if you watched this far. I'm just kind of rambling. I've been doing a lot. I've been getting a lot more into candle magic. Also, I learned this. When shit really hits the fan for me, not always, but in general, not even just shit hits the fan. I think sometimes, I've been noticing ever since the psych ward situation, not just when shit hits the fan, though I suppose yes in that situation, it did, but, even outside of that situation, I've been noticing lately, I'm not gonna fake wood that doesn't get jinxed, but, when things are really rough, when the going is rough, I tend to be blessed with free oregano to pack up with. Yeah, that is something I've noticed. And I think it's, for me personally, the way I see it is, it's a way that my guides are telling me to, hey, maybe chill out. Because I know for me, and I don't know for all of you, this herb, if you will, the good green, how do I put this? When people say she's a gateway, they usually mean it in a more negative light. That's really not true, but the only way she would be gateway is in the sense of consciousness, I'd say. Like, higher consciousness and helping people to get out of these patterns that are not necessarily as healthy. And yes, she can bring these things to be more heightened in the sense that she increases your awareness of these patterns, but for me, say for instance, how do I articulate this? I often struggle with rumination tendencies. And yes, unfortunately, being in chronic autistic burnout and chronic overstimulation and not being able to sleep due to upstairs, more often than I'd like, I've been up ruminating. It's a rough time. My brain never really gets a break, unfortunately, for a variety of factors, both related to and unrelated to my neighbors. Put it that way. That is just part of the factors, big part of the factor, but not the only factor, of course. There are other factors that I'm just not talking about quite yet. But, I've rolled up and I've gone outside and enjoyed it. These oregano tubes, these herbal tubes, and, you know what? Those rumination tendencies tend to get shifted to something more constructive. So instead of, having a panic attack the entire night, I'm figuring a way to empower myself, strengthen myself, and formulate plans that shift me away from the situation that is causing me so much strife, and to make more wise and, how do I put this, aligned decisions. I feel like it's really been helping me to like really calm down, and also like, I mean, to be honest, I do use it medically. It does help me with a lot of aspects relating to my autism. Personally, for me, it does, and also my ADHD. Also, a lot of aspects of my mental health. I've been on a number of medications, like psych meds, over the years. I mean, right now I'm on like a really low dose Lexapro, but like in a low dose 5 ants, like 5 milligram Lexapro. It's about the lowest you can get on, I think, or among the lowest, but it's really not doing too much. Really, it doesn't really help stabilize me all that much. I don't really feel like going up. I kind of learned my lesson from the last time that sort of thing happened when I was eventually put on way too much and got serotonin syndrome, and then the Lexapro withdrawals. I'm never doing that again. I might ask my psychiatrist to come off it, but basically, how do I put this? This stuff has worked and helped me better than any psych med, and yes, my psychiatrist does know that I do use it, and I inform my medical providers. I mean, it is legal in my state, but I do inform them so that they can make more informed decisions with regards to my care and their treatment methods, because, herbs do have an impact on human health, believe it or not. And I mean, it's not just this one that I'm talking about. I mean, so many herbs, like, you cannot take with other meds. Like, for instance, I can't take St. John's wort because, I mean, for a number of reasons, including birth control, but also, like, with Lexapro, have fun with serotonin syndrome, because I won't be. Like, you won't have fun with serotonin syndrome, I can say from experience. Not with regard to St. John's wort and Lexapro combination, but, let me tell you right now, it's very unpleasant. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. I wouldn't. I just don't. Not even someone I dislike. I don't wish that sort of thing upon people. I don't want anyone else going through what I had to with serotonin syndrome and then subsequent medication withdrawals from hell. Not even from hell. I think this isn't even hell. This isn't even worse than any idea of hell. Like, I don't wish Lexapro withdrawals on anyone. Seriously, I don't. But yeah, good green has helped me more, considerably speaking, personally, than most psych meds. I mean, for some people, if you find that meds help you, I'm happy for you. But my lived experience has been different. I've been on a variety of meds for a good chunk of my life, on and off, and most of them really haven't done much for me long term that were good. I tend to find that any benefits I might have temporarily with med tends to lessen after about that year mark, and then like the really nasty side effects start having to come in, and I have to balance with other meds and or go up in doses, and then it's a vicious cycle. I've learned that with Lexapro, Abilify, mirtazapine. I ain't doing that. No. I mean, if I have to, I will, but let's just say I've been going through it, and you know what? The good green has helped me. And when I'm going through it, the universe tends to bless me with a bit of free herb. Notice that. Have anyone else experienced that? Like, when you're going through it, does the universe bless you with some good green to be like, hey, please chill out. Like, please chill. Basically, hey, you need to relax. You need to seek some realignment and maybe get a different perspective. Now, to be fair, gummies also do that. I do like gummies, but I've basically been going through a lot. That's the summary of. I've been going through it, and bear in mind, if it doesn't sound like a lot, it's because I'm giving you the very loose Spark Notes version of what I'm going through, and somehow you're still here for 43 plus minutes. Okay, yeah. What I just told you was me barely summarizing Spark. You're not really getting to the full depth of my lived experience. Not even close. This is very much out of context from what I actually experienced. Because a lot of what I've been experiencing has been intense, I've been finding that, being less open online about everything that I'm going through to the fullest extent is probably best for my own well-being. Sure, I'm already being pretty vulnerable with this video, but, you never know who's watching or looking at your content. That is a thing with being online. You cannot guarantee or assume that everyone is going to act on good faith or is even coming in good faith to interact with you. Unfortunately, that is just, you cannot guarantee that, so some things are just better left private. And for me, you know what, I'm getting to enjoy some privacy while given some bare bones, really, really vague accounts that barely even scratch the tip of the iceberg, or the surface of the tip of the iceberg. Not even through that first layer of ice or snow. You're barely scratching that when it comes to what I'm doing. So right now, you're just getting the really, like, skimming off the top just barely. Like, not really getting much. So, bear that in mind. This has been nearly an hour. Like, it's going to take forever to upload. Anyways, we'll figure out what happened, but happens. I don't know if I'm uploading this. I've just been rambling at the camera, but yeah, it's just stream of consciousness. I've been going through things. I just wanted to get you up to speed. I'm not sure when I'll upload next. I just wanted to chit chat, give you some background noise just to have. I don't know. I'm really disorganized and scatterbrained and stressed because I'm very sleep deprived. And before anyone says take melatonin, I found out the hard way that that's a really bad idea for me. Yeah, about like a week ago, I'd say, maybe a half week to a week ago, as of posting this, or uploading this, or recording at least, I tried melatonin supplement for the first time. It was like gummy, no, it was a dissolvable pill tablet, that's what it was. I tried one of those dissolvable, like, pill tablets of the melatonin supplements, and I found out the hard way that I get a paradoxical reaction to it. So instead of making me like sleepy, like it's supposed to, or helping like, you know, regulate my circadian rhythm, it instead made me super wired, like extremely like awake wired. And I was like, what the hell? Because I followed the instructions, like I am improving my sleep hygiene, like you know, but no, this stuff makes me wired. Not the only thing to do that to me either, for what it's worth. But basically, I found out the hard way. Yeah, don't take melatonin supplements. Don't. For me personally, I shouldn't be. It's not the only thing that does that to me though. I also get like a paradoxical or like opposite reaction, I think it's technically called, to Benadryl. So like, yeah, that stuff also makes me extremely wired and alert. It's weird. Anyways, yeah, I get an opposite reaction to Benadryl, and also apparently melatonin. Evidently, my body goes, doubters, are you sure about that? Meanwhile, it gets like tired with coffee. Is it the ADHD? I don't know. Like, do I have any neuroscientists watching this at this point? I don't know. I've been rambling for a while. I'm not even sure what I'm on about at this point, but I hope you're entertained. But how do I put this? No, I am autistic, and I'm also ADHD, and I don't know. You know, sleep disorders are pretty common amongst autistic people. I've read in scientific literature, trying to, you know, research my own neurodevelopmental disability. I mean, to understand more about it, I should say. Like, from what I can understand, according to some articles on PubMed.gov, like, that, you know, sleep disorders are fairly common amongst autistic people. Like, there's something with, like, pineal gland dysfunction or something like that, with like the melatonin output, which in theory means that, like, you know, melatonin would help me, but I don't know. Like, I know it helps some autistic people, but evidently, for me personally, on my part of the spectrum and my own personal lived experience, yeah, that's a really bad idea. Yeah, who knows? But, you know, actually, now that I think about it, chamomile also kind of does that, but not to the same degree. Like, how do I put this? Chamomile makes me calmer, yes, but it makes me more alert and focused because I am calmer. Instead of making me straight up sleepy, it makes me like more like focused. Strange. Does anyone get that with chamomile, or is that just me? I mean, I am a weirdo, medically speaking. And almost in more ways than one, but sheesh, is that another one? Oh. Who knows? But, you know, I'll leave it at that. And for those wondering, I know almost in more ways than one, I mean, I don't know how long you've been listening to me ramble, and if it's in this recording of this ramble, but, you know, I have 2 uteruses. Yeah, uterus to Delphus. I have 2 uteruses. What, 0.3% of the world's population, last I checked, approximately, has what I have? Yeah, it's pretty damn anomalous. Anyways, it's not fun. But, hey, thank goodness for the good green herb, because she's the only thing that helps. Because pain meds, whether it's ibuprofen, Tylenol, max dose, Paired, doesn't even take the edge off. And I'm not about to try anything harder. So then, like, the good green. So, you know what? I just have to do what I have to do. It's like those two literally do nothing when it comes to my time. So, yeah, basically, I don't know what's going on with that whole me getting more alert / wired on things that are supposed to technically make me more tired. But then when I like have caffeine, I get really tired sometimes. It might be the ADHD. I mean, that's definitely apparent in the video. My Vyvanse is definitely worn off. Anyway, thanks for watching, I guess. I'm concerned for myself with the length of this recording. Congrats for putting up with me for this long. I'm not sure what you're getting out of this, but hope you I don't know. Did I say palm tree earlier? Can you do some blowing leaves too alongside that palm tree? Maybe some wind? Some of those emojis. Maybe a green heart. Oh, this is so good. Maybe a book? Or like a magnifying glass? Something related to anthropology? Are there emojis related to that? Put some of that in your comment. Though I'd be really shocked if anyone actually watched this long. I'm surprised you're not bored to death. Anyway. Have a good one, or a better one. Whatever you're going through, I really hope it gets better for both of us, honestly. Like, I think we all deserve a fucking break every once in a while, and you know what? I hope we get one. I hope things get better for all of us. And you know what? That said, I thank you for coming along with me on this part of my journey. Kind of sharing what I've been going through, the bare bones spark notes, rambly, Vyvanse wore off, packing oregano tubes to enjoy for later. The little palm leaf oregano tubes. I don't know what I thought I said. YouTube, I don't know what you thought I said. Yeah, leave those emojis. Anyways, see you sometime, maybe. Possibly. Who knows? Or you'll just rewatch this or a different video. You'll see me then, maybe. Or not. It's your decision. It's really your decision, but hey. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Ooh, wow. Wait. Oh, wow. Ooh, you can see them on my finger. Wow. You can really see the crystals on my finger. You see? Don't tip over the jar. Do you see them? They look dirty. No, those are just some good crystals.